The Stranger in the Woods: The Extraordinary Story of the Last True Hermit by Michael Finkel is a non-fiction book that tells the story of Christopher Knight, a man who lived alone in the woods of Maine for 27 years. The book explores Knight's motivations for living a life of solitude and the impact his isolation had on him and the community around him. The book begins by introducing the reader to Christopher Knight and his life before he disappeared into the woods. Knight grew up in Albion, Massachusetts, and was known to be a quiet and introverted child. As he got older, he became increasingly disillusioned with modern society and its expectations of conformity. In 1986, at the age of 20, Knight made the decision to leave his life behind and disappear into the woods of Maine. If you'd like to listen to this book on Audible for free, you can click the link in the description below. If you'd rather read this book, I've added a link to Amazon. Please feel free to leave a comment suggesting another book you'd like me to summarize. Now back to the summary. For the next 27 years, Knight lived in complete isolation in a small campsite deep in the woods. He survived by stealing food and supplies from nearby cabins and campsites and developed a meticulous routine for his daily life. He slept during the day to avoid detection and spent his nights reading books and listening to a small battery-operated radio. The book explores Knight's motivations for living in isolation, suggesting that he was driven by a desire for freedom and a rejection of the norms and expectations of modern society. Knight was a highly intelligent individual who had grown disillusioned with the world around him and the way people interacted with each other. He saw the world as an increasingly crowded and chaotic place and believed that the only way to find true peace was to remove himself from it entirely. Despite living in complete isolation for nearly 3 decades, Knight's presence was felt by the community around him. People reported seeing strange lights and hearing noises in the woods, and some even claimed to have encountered a wild man who lived in the woods. Knight's thefts were also a constant source of frustration for the people who owned the nearby cabins and campsites. Eventually, Knight's presence was discovered by a game warden named Terry Hughes, who had been tracking him for years. Hughes was determined to catch the North Pond Hermit, as Knight had become known, and set up a series of traps and surveillance cameras around the campsite. After several failed attempts, Hughes was finally able to catch Knight in the act of stealing food from a nearby cabin. The book goes on to explore Knight's arrest and the impact it had on him and the community around him. Many people were shocked to discover that the person responsible for the thefts was not some feral hermit, but a highly intelligent and articulate individual who had been living in the woods for nearly 3 decades. Knight's trial was a media sensation, and he became something of a celebrity overnight. Despite his newfound fame, Knight struggled to adapt to life outside of the woods. He found the noise and chaos of modern society overwhelming and was uncomfortable with the attention he was receiving. Eventually, Knight returned to the woods for a brief period before being arrested again for violating his parole. The book ends by reflecting on the legacy of Christopher Knight and the lessons that can be learned from his story. Knight's life raises important questions about the nature of freedom, isolation, and the relationship between individuals and society. While his decision to live in complete isolation may seem extreme, it is a reminder that there is no one right way to live one's life. Overall, The Stranger in the Woods is a compelling and thought-provoking book that explores the life of a truly unique individual. Michael Finkel's writing is engaging and evocative, and he does an excellent job of bringing Knight's story to life. The book is a must-read for anyone interested in the human experience and the ways in which individuals can find meaning and purpose in life. Please click the subscribe button and head down to the description below to listen to this book for free on Audible. See you in the next summary.